Hi guys, Mayflom here, and I've got this lovely new stamp that I am dying to play with. This is going to be really fun, and I've already gotten some like embossing powder or something on here, so I'm going to have to fix that up. But anyhow, lovely girl with crafty stuff in her hair, and I thought to kick it off, it'd be perfect to put her in my art journal. And this happens to be the journal that I'm using right now, the journal I'm working with for my art journaling class. And I just want to think about where I want to place her. Before I place her down, I'm going to add some gesso and a little bit of color too, I believe. So I've got my white gesso, and I'm going to go with a little blue. Okay, so I'm going to do gesso first, and I'm just going to be real precise here, as you can see. I'm going to put a little bit of this down. I usually don't, and I'm just using my lovely little roller tool here to cover my paper. I usually don't bother with this step, but I don't want my paints to soak in, and I want to really be able to get a lot of color sitting on top of the paper, okay? So it'll be sitting on top more than under, and I'm just looking around to see if I like what I did here. Yeah, that's pretty good. I didn't get a perfect coverage. I really don't care. That's fine. And then I'm going to put just a tiny little streak of blue. Okay. And then basically just however far that goes is however far that goes. I can see a little where I made an actual mark in the gesso. It's like made a mark there. I'm gonna let that stand. That's kind of cool to me. And then I'm gonna just kind of go out from my original there, so it's gonna fade out there. Oh, it was supposed to fade out there, and we got a little wild. Okay. If I had too much blue, if I thought, oh geez, I didn't mean to put quite that much blue, what have I done? I could squirt. You can tell I'm getting a little low there. Squirt a little more of that. We could roll a little more white. Actually, I kind of like that now. All right, let's do that again. Do it again. A little more white. I've been working on an art journaling class, and I'm doing a lot of this kind of stuff where I take a subject. Right now, the subject in my mind is just like crafting the winter away. I do a lot of my crafting for the year more in the winter than any other time of year. I think my production is highest, and I don't know if it's because I happen to be a really big fan of rainy days. Is it because I'm more productive in the winter? Some people aren't, but I'm pretty darn productive in the winter. Like, I'm not exactly sure why. That's just how it is. So that was kind of my inspiration for this one. And once I'm happy with that, I'm just going to hit it with a heat tool here to dry it off. So I've got my background down, and all I did to stamp her was just stamp her with embossing ink, sprinkle black powder on, and heat set. And I did it without a block of any kind, because a lot of times on this kind of lumpy, when the surface starts to get lumpy, it turns out much better if I just directly stamp it and can get everything in there. So what's going on now? Well, I've been taking, these are Tim Holtz Distress Stains. I also like to do this with Dylusions. And I have been coloring some of the elements here. Now, what I love about doing this into a water brush is I can get watercolor technique, okay, and detail and, you know, do whatever with no cleanup. That's the cleanup. It's done. It's put away. I can then just toss it back in the bucket where it goes. So I love having that color with minimal mess, minimal fuss. Now what I've got right here, these are Fine Tech from Germany. These are like metallic watercolor, and they're new to me. I've only used them a couple of times. I've only had them, I don't know, a week or two. Not long at all. I'm tapping my fingers here because I'm looking for my paper towels. They all disappeared, and I need my roll is getting small, so it's like right in front of my face, and I don't even know. Okay. So these bad boys, I'm going to start with this one, and I'll go ahead and get this guy some water going too. So what I'm liking about these is they're so rich. There's so much metallic goodness in here. And I'm going to add to her hair here. I'm probably going to end up putting a little acrylic paint in her hair, and I might as well grab it. The way I have my studio set up, all my acrylic paint is right behind me, so it's not hard. And I'm going to go ahead and put that little dollop of paint right there. Yes, right there in my art journal. I like to make a mess when I'm working. I like to make a mess right on the page if I'm only doing a single page. Here in my journal, you know, there's no pressure, there's no rules, there's no fussing, there's no whining, and there's no judgment. I love just playing in here. And in fact, that's why, and honestly, that's the basis of the whole online class that I've got going on right now, Finding the Art in Your Journal. I will show you, like I am here, you know, what I do, how I do it, what I'm using to make my pages. But at the same time, I'm talking to you about ideas of, you know, how and why my journal inspires me so much. And the main thing, truly, it's because I can sit in here and play. I can sit in here and doodle and play and have a great time and try techniques and experiment with products. And there's absolutely no risk. If I hate it, I can color over it or just turn the page. Turn the page, because guess what? It does not matter. It's totally okay to make an ugly page here or mess up or get paint on something. And that total creative freedom is why I've been able to do some of the stuff that I do, because I have this space to play and experiment, which means that I find stuff. It has happened so many times when I'm doodling and playing in here and I come up with a technique or something I really want to do. I'm coming back in here now that I did that acrylic paint. I'm coming back in here with some of this, and I'm just wiping off, making sure there's no acrylic paint on my brush when I come back in. I don't want to mess these up, but I'm just adding, just for highlight here and there, some of that beautiful metallic back in. Rinse it off and keep going. But anyhow, yeah, so we're talking about prompts. We're talking about how to find your creative inspiration within the pages of your journal. You know, freeing yourself up and just having a good time in here, but also digging into yourself as a creative person and figuring out, you know, what do you like? What do you do? What do you wish you did more? You know, what are your problem areas, your happy areas? There are lots of things to discover. Now, I really like how that worked out and how that's turning out. I'm just going to tap her right there where there was just a lot of moisture. And now basically all I'm going to do is continue on. And I like the idea of using purples and whites and really making this a winter flower. This week at Simon Says Stamp, the Monday challenge, which I'm a part of, we are doing winter stamping. And I thought that this would be kind of a pretty wintry, crafty girl. And so she's stamped, and now I'm coloring. And when I'm done with this, I will add some words. When I'm done doing all this coloring here, I will add in some words for sure. But I think I might also add a few more kind of splotchy looks. I would love to try and do this stamp where I color the area first, like stamp her clear somehow, and then color all the area kind of loosely and stamp her again over so that in like black so that it looks like very watercolory, but I did the colory part first. I don't know. I'm just babbling here, but I have ideas and I have my journal, so I will continue to sit here on this cold winter's day and just enjoy what I'm up to and really make the most of art play here in my journal. I wish you very happy crafting. I will have links to my blog and to class if you're interested in that down below.